So this video, we're going to take a DJ track with lyrics and build out the playback for that in a time code timeline. So I've got a whole lot of lyrics that I want to play back. I'm going to use AI as the playback machine. So I've got it linked up, running off my laptop and linked up to this computer over the network. So under my synergy settings, I can see the links there. I've built out a few layers and I've got my synergy fixtures down here. So I've got a couple of surfaces I'm working with and I've got my preview set up. I've got to upload these text tracks for the lyrics. So I've built out a short clip video for each lyric or each line of lyric that I want to use and upload them straight to the AI server now. So under media browser, I've got all my playback tracks here. I'm going to select where I want to save them. The song track's called Haunted. I'm going to create a new one called Haunted Lyrics, just there in their own folder or bank. So I'll select that bank now, scroll down Haunted Lyrics, and I'll select all those files ready to upload. So I can see the total size here. I know I've got that space available. I can see all my stats there. This is where they're going. If I hit upload, I'll see they start transferring. So I'm just going to wait that out. Once they've all uploaded, they'll start transcoding and they'll be ready for playback. So they'll transcode into the AIM codec. So just going to wait for those to upload. And this is great. This could be really handy if you've got your media server backstage, say right near the screen, so you don't have long cable runs, and you've got your lighting console front of house. So you can quickly upload all the files you need, and it's great for those last minute little uploads. We need to upload maybe a new logo or some extra content. You can plug the USB into your console and send the files straight to the server. You don't have to get up and go down there. So they've uploaded now. I can see on my AI machine, I can see they're still transcoding, so the thumbnails are still transcoding there. So I'll give them a little bit till they're done, and then I'll be able to bring them in. I've got three screens I'm using. I've got a main wall back screen that's going to have the text on it. I've got a curved DJ banner and some panels on the roof as well. So my main part is this wall. I've set up 3 layers for the wall. So if I show you the synergy settings here, I've got 3 fixtures or 3 playback fixtures with layers in each. And I've created 3 layers for my LED wall because I want to have a background layer, an effects layer, which is just anything I want to have over the background, and then I've created a separate layer just for text. So I know the text is just playing on that layer, no matter what else is going on. Okay, so I've uploaded my lyric video files, and I just need to build them out into a cue list. So I just need to get them all in to one single cue list, and I can flick through that. So I'll start building that now. So I want that on the wall text fixture layer. I'll bring up my dimmer, and I'll grab my media selection. So it's in the correct one there. And I will set a position as well. So I'm going to create a position for that. So I've got text pause here. So I'll make that, save that in. I'll lock the pan. If we need to adjust on the day, they'll all reference that. So rather than updating from scratch, I can just update the position there. So I'll record that straight in as a merge. Clear that out, make sure I reference it again. I'll bring my intensity up. Now I can start building out this cue list. So record a new cue list, and I'll save that just at the end here. And selected Q1, Q2, so I can exit out of that. That should be done. If I fade in my fader, and here you go. Great skies, there they all are. Now it's snapping through. I actually want them to fade between. And because I'm running off AI, I need to tell it to fade on the server, so between the tracks. So I'll go back into Q1. I'll include that. Do Q. And under this setting, under the intensity, my crossfade period, I'll just bring that up to 0.9 seconds to see how that looks. So Q1, hit enter. Clear out. Play that back. We've now faded between all those cues. All right, I should name these, so I'm going to go through and name them real quick. So I'll open up that list. Okay, so I've named all those cues. And that's they're very quick and easy to get to now. And so I'll bring up my timeline and I'll start recording those in. So I just need those to click through. So if I release that, board, create timeline right here. So I've got it linked up to Winamp already. I'll just check. Timecode 1 is Winamp, it's enabled, and I'm connected. I'm connected. I do need to do my offset, so I'm losing that 1 hour. So hit time, set offset, nudge by 1 hour, so I'll subtract that 1 hour. There we go. So now I'm playing at 0 again. It's important for my markers to line up because Reaper started at 0. And now I'll import my markers so I can see where those lyrics come in. So import markers, will them saved to my show USB. Lyrics V1, I'll bring them straight in. All right, so that's what my first cue is. I'm going to start recording straight in. So I'll bring up my fader, and I could just drop this in as a go-to cue. I'm just going to hit it. It's actually quite easy just to hit go as we go through. I'll hit start recording, hit play. You see, I can jump around the timeline whilst it's still recording. All right, so I'm happy. It looks like it's dumped in all those as go-to cues at the correct time. So starting at 1, if I do need to check, I can open up my table view, and if I just select track 1, I can see all my go-to cues are in there. So, and if I open up my markers, I can see they all match up pretty closely with the times. Now I have had them come in a bit earlier to adjust for that fade, so they actually fade and land right on that timing. So that's that track. Because these are for live performances, sometimes the tracks need to change. So either you've got a new mix or a new version of the track that'll come in. And this is where the timeline comes in really handy because it's quite easy to adjust and remix things to suit. So quite often the timings will still work, or the placements will still work in sections. And so I've actually done that here. I've got another version where they've added a longer intro to adjust for a mix. So we need to offset to match that new adjustment. So I'll switch over the tracks in Winamp just here. And now if I play back, there's a very long intro. The lyrics haven't even started yet, but I've gone into Reaper and I've actually readjusted those markers. So I've got a new set of lyric markers to bring in. So I'll import that, and it's very easy. Swap out the markers in your timeline as well. So you can have multiple versions of markers and just keep bringing them in and out as needed. So I'll import a new set. And this is just my lyrics here. So I'll confirm that. See, they're now in my timeline. And not a lot has changed. So they're still kind of in the rough timing. It's more just if you added an intro to the start. So it's going to be quite easy to adjust. I just need to grab all of my triggers here, and I can just wind them back until they line back up with those markers. And I'll just play it again. All right, and so that looks like it lines up again. So I'm pretty happy with that. That makes it quite easy to adjust to a new set. And even if there were kind of breaks where things happen, maybe there's a bridge section that's been added, you can probably still grab a section and just offset to match those markers. So it might be a bit more work, but it's a lot easier than going through and stepping through a whole time-coded cue list. So I do need to add a couple of things in here. I'll add a fade in cue for my cue list 14. So I'll just record that in here as well real quick. Just to make sure my cue list is turned on. And as you can see, you can even make adjustments whilst the track is still playing. So you can adjust quick things on whilst you're still playing the track, or even jump around whilst it's recording, just to get timings exactly right. So I'm pretty happy with my lyric track now. I'm going to set a legend for it and lock it off so I don't accidentally muck that one up. And I don't need these lyric markers anymore. I've got them locked in, pretty happy with that. I'm going to bring in a new marker set because I had another lot of markers just for the kind of effects I had in this track as well. So import markers, wanted effects, if I bring those in. All right, so you can see I've got a few more markers in here as well. I've got a start cue here, and then towards the end I've got some more effects I want to build out. So first up, I'll add some more visual elements to this using AI. So if I switch back to my AI view, and I'll bring in my capture window so I can actually see what's happening. So I've got AI going into the capture as well to show a stage view. So my wall background, I've got an image here. So I'll fade this up. And under Haunted, I've got these clouds. Very simple, just a cloud loop of some clouds moving. And I've got a DJ facade out of LED as well. So I'll bring that on. I've got a brick wall just for that. So I'll fade that in as well. As you can see, that's really bright. So I can tweak that a bit in here. I'll bring it down in intensity. Bump up the contrast. So this is very simple. I just want this to fade in as that track starts. So I'll record this as a cue. Right there. Call this Sky VG, Sky background. Clear it out. There it is. Just needs a fade up. Very simple fade up. So I'll start my timeline again. I'll create a new blank track for it. Background. And I'll start recording. Alright, just snapped it up and I'll set up the fade manually myself. So I wanted to kind of start fading and then hit right when that first lyric comes in. So that should be about right. If I jump back and hit play. All right, pretty happy with that. Next, I've got some stuff for the end of the song here. So I want this gray skies to fade out. So I'll just add a manual set level in here, right? I'm going to choose what I want to adjust first and then place it in right about there. And I'll just set it to fade. I'll zoom in on that. Where it goes dark section. And I also need to fade out my lyrics as well. So I'll make sure I've unlocked that. I'll do the same. I'll add a new marker, set level for my lyric cue list about the same time. So we're fading out together. Go, I'll lock those off. All right, so there's 3 zaps, and I've built some stuff for that as well. So I'll jump back into Synergy, and that's what my effects layers I've created here are for. So if I open my playbacks, so there's 3 zaps. I've built up 3 sections of content for that. So my first one is this back wall effect. So I wanted Got 3 of them, so starting on the outside, bring these up. So you can see those kind of lightning lines. I've also got them continuing down the roof as well. So that's what this roof effects layer is for. Same thing. I'll bring that up and select that media. So it actually needs to be my roof's up one. You can see they join up. So I'll record that. It's my first playback. My second one. Effects. Step 2. So it just moves in a little bit. Same for the roof. Roof effects. Step 2. On the roof. And set my intensity. And record that. And once again, the third step, roof, wall 3, roof 3. Record that. I'll clear that. So these are just playbacks at the moment, nothing between the two. So I just need to set a playback method for those, or a handle type. So handle, I want them to be flash on the touch. I've got one here set up for timed flash, so I'll check each of those. All right, so I've got some lights I want to match up to these as well. I'll set a legend for them just so I know which ones they are. And these can be picture legends. So I'll set a quick picture legend. So I've got my 2 outsides. Insides, and then very center. Okay, now I want some lights to go with these. So I'll bring up my lights here. I've got my roof laid out in this grid to match up. So I'll select my very outside pictures first. Locate them. I've got some lines set up as a shape here using the blades in them. And I'll choose just like a blue to match that. Make sure I've got my intensity set in there. And I'll want some strobe. I just want to record that on top of that first one. So that's my first look. Merge it straight in and clear it out. So there we go. Same thing. So my next 2, locate those, make sure I've got the line set. Yeah, my strobe. Or that straight on as a merge and clear it out. And then finally, center 2 lines. I'll locate those. Same thing, give them a color in the lines. I'll sweep these ones out a little bit. All right, so I've got those locked in. So I can record those straight into the timeline as well. So jump into a timeline view. Here's my 3 steps. So I'll start recording those in. I know they come in at these kind of zap markers here. So it sets of 3s. So you just need to hold on. So I'll start a new blank track for those. Call that zap. I'll start recording these ones in. As you can see, whilst I was recording, I could still jump around and re-pick things up. So those last sets I had missed, I jumped back and I was able to pick them back up again quite easily. So those are all my flash markers now. I'm pretty happy with those. And there was these zap chases that I wanted to happen in between. So I wanted to actually chase between all of those lights and not have any video. So I'll switch back into setting up those fixtures and I'll create a chase. So I just want all my BMFLs along these lines. So I'll set them all up in that same blue, and I'll just bring the dimmer down. I just want to build a chase, and I'll build it manually, just step by step. So I'll call it a new chase, just here for now. Just one at a time, I'll bring up each line and then turn it off again. There's my chase. See it just stepping through. It needs to be quite quick as it sweeps through for those sections, but I'll copy it out so I can actually reuse the same chase a few times. So what I'll do is copy this up into my playback handles. We're going to view this one, change my key profile to flash. So if I release this, now it's on flash mode. In view, I'll set the speed quite high. 600, that's how that looks. Great. All right, but I want this to play once. So set the playback to loop action, stop on final cue, play order forwards. So now play once and stop. It won't go back to the start again. So I'll keep programming it out. So I'll name this one. This one goes from right to left. Now I'll copy it. I'll make another version. So this can be my left to right. So I'll just change the direction in here. So play order backwards. I'll rename that, set the legend so it goes the other way. And I want one that kind of bounces between, so it will keep playing. So I'll set this to bounce. And create a new one more. And this one needs to be random, so just play out. Random. Actually, these need to loop, otherwise they will stop. So I'll set both these last two to looping again. Now I've got right to left, left to right. I've got my bounce. And random. Random name. Now I can record these in my timeline as well. So I'll add these each of these cues in the same way. I start recording. I'll keep this in the zap. Pretty happy with them all being the same thing. So I'll start my record on that zap layer. So I've got all those and I'm pretty happy with those as well. So that's a fair bit of this track built out already. So we've got AI stuff happening at the beginning, then we've got linked AI and lighting stuff happening towards the end. So I'm happy with these zap cues. I'll lock those off as well. There's a quick overview of bringing in a cue list of lyrics and laying it out with go-to cues on the timeline and being able to adjust it quickly. So being able to adjust whole sections very quickly. It's the same thing. If we need to adjust all of these flashes, we can grab these whole sections if we knew the new timecode track to adjust to. So I'll let you have a look now. I'll play this out and you'll see, so you can see where we got up to. Thanks to Marlo for this great track and letting us use it in this video. If you want to check it out, I'll leave links to Marlo's Spotify and stuff in the description of this video.
Devilish as I fall for all the time. Haunted, haunted by the night. Take one breath. It's not the end. It's not the end. I heard you say one more day. It's not the end. It's not the end.